So let's start. So hello, everyone. We are pleased to see so many people attending our Trendstorming, our usual appointment to review the fashion show, to decipher the emerging trend using our powerful data. We will start today from a quantitative analysis of products, colors, fabrics, and then we will deep dive in the 5 trend stories for today with key look, details, accessories of each trend. And as usual, our presentation will be supported by images generated with artificial intelligence to interpret the season trends based on the growing data collected by our algorithm on the catwalk during the fashion show of Fall/Winter 24. A short intro for the ones that are joining us for the first time. I am Barbara Maiocchi, and I am CEO and co-founder of Livetrend. I'm based in Paris, and today I'll be presenting with Giulia Stratman, our senior trend forecaster from Germany, and Simona Iampieri, our trend analyst in Milan. We are part of Livetrend, the data-driven platform providing trend analysis and competitive intelligence. Leveraging AI, we help spot the right trends and capitalize on the right products to produce more bestseller and less unsold goods. Let me change the slide, sorry. Okay. We are a pioneer of data-driven trend forecasting, and we rely on artificial intelligence to detect and track the trends on the most important sources today, as the market, analyzing more than 4,000 products per week, on e-commerce, for example, on a fashion show with more than 50,000 products per season, and Instagram with more than 3 million images per month. You can imagine that this amount of information is impossible to gather manually, and that's why we've developed our technology to give the most reliable information, as you can avoid basing your strategy on intuitions and losing time in tasks that we have automatized. So you can be more efficient, of course, and even more sustainable, producing the right product for your consumer. Today, we are able to analyze 1,040 fashion attributes and track them to predict the trend behavior with exceptional reliability. Livetrend is a collaborative platform designed for the entire value chain, providing different tools and helping strategic teams working together, sharing the same information. After 20 years as creative and collection director, I was struggling to have concrete and tangible elements to share with merchandisers and designers as objective information about trends and products. And we were always running to gather the best insight to drive our collection. But with all this information available online and offline, it was a nightmare. And I know that you know what I'm talking about, because we always need to design the collection to get inspired, and we were losing so many time looking for this right information. And now all this information, I can have it, in the Livetrend platform in one click. So if you would like to have more information about our methodology, feel free to write into the chat, because you can write, but also at the end you can make your questions. So we will be very pleased to answer to it. So you can just keep it for the end of the presentation. So as we are fashion innovators, we are at the forefront of fashion tech and using generative AI to transform our million of data and abstract concepts into tangible product images, thanks to artificial intelligence, to help our clients to better visualize the future product. You will see how incredible is this technology. Is very useful because you can make your vision come to life, you can make your colleague understand your ideas, or you can directly test the appeal of your idea with your clients without producing anything. So you can even create your images for social media or your advertising campaign, as we did recently for one of the leading international fashion fair. So now let's go to the heart of the presentation. So maybe Giulia, you can take the lead now.
Thank you so much for this great introduction, Barbara. So hey everyone, thank you again so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to start by giving you a quick general introduction of the season, let's say. So let's move to the first slide of our Trendstorming today. So basically, Throughout the fall-winter fashion shows, we have seen a bit of a departure from these hypersexualized aesthetics that we have seen, especially throughout the last winter seasons. And now the runway shows kind of moved forward, and we see that the fashion industry is embracing more of a, let's say, sophisticated approach to femininity and design. So the majority of big houses this season played it rather safe for fall-winter 24, presenting rather easily marketable collections that promise, to continue the success of the recent quiet luxury trend that we've been seeing. And talking luxury, we also kind of associate it immediately with this old money movement that we've seen across the fashion industry. And this is a trend that has been exploited even further and influenced several collections, even with this new ladylike look that is reviving a bourgeois and even vintage chic across the runways. Amidst this renaissance of elegance, designers have also tapped more into this fragility of our human core, where we have seen a lot of emotive moments that kind of ignited a bit of a sentimental awakening, and many pieces really seem to connect us deeper with our innermost emotions and desires. So on that note, we have seen that this undressing trend is continuing with a bit more of a delicate and tender take that is approaching femininity, and we see these more soft and graceful looks that you'll also see in our trends later on that are really leading to this sexy dominatrix story to decline, and we've seen it decline by actually 64%. So as mentioned before, it's a very significant turn from this hypersexuality to more essentials and more sophisticated designs. So as mentioned, along this emotional journey, the shows also focus a lot on these new essentials. So corporate items were still reimagined with a lot of casual tailoring and basic knitwear. And on that crisp note, also minimalism prevailed, emphasizing clean lines and kind of pushing for this understated sophistication. So just to sum up, overall, these fall-winter shows really seem to invite us to embrace a sense of inner elegance and also staying grounded within the essentials of modern life. But we'll explore this even further now. And first, Barbara is going to give you a bit of an idea about how we generate the data, where we later, base our trends in, and also show you the must-haves that we have decoded.
Yes, thank you, Julia, for this introduction. I want to highlight, of course, our data and our methodology. So just want to say that this presentation is the result of analyzing nearly 300 shows from the 4 capitals with approximately 42,000 product scans. For the one that are not familiar with our data, it's very important to understand this slide because we will highlight the visibility of the trend, that is the number of looks on the shows presenting a specific fashion attribute. Then you will see a percentage, and that percentage is the growth index of the trend, considering the trend visibility on the catwalks compared to fall-winter 23, so year on year. And then some graph, like this one about monochrome, representing the trend evolution over the past 3 seasons. Using our algorithm, we are able to cross-reference several sources and predict trend behaviors that we classify from edgy trends to safe and stable till the last call ones, as you can see in the legend at the right of this slide. And starting from a quantitative analysis of the global assortment of the show, I think it's quite important to see in the chart that we have the fall-winter 24 global assortment in the center compared to the fall-winter 23 assortment, showing how the different categories are moving toward winter 24, with dresses, pants, jacket, skirts, and knits as top 5 category in assortment visibility. We're talking about visibility. And shorts, top, coat, and skirts, the one with the highest growth compared to last winter. But let's give more quality to this data, saying that tailoring remains a big stable trend with a 3% increase to last year and a focus on coat with plus 33% compared to last winter. And remember that coats were rising 12% on spring-summer 24 shows too. So it will be a very important piece. It is not only the tailoring trend that is raging, but also the warming climates that impact, for example, puffer jackets that are dropping by 6%. Meanwhile, as I said, coats are really rising. Data shows that pants are as important as dresses for winter, with wide flares and leather options. And our data also spot leggings as an early sign. The trend also continued toward Bermuda and hot pants, as evidenced here in this slide, and with this plus 68%. Tops are increasing in visibility, and one of the protagonists is certainly the shirt, rising by 29% from the last winter shows. And skirts are emerging by 27%, where midi and long ones are taking the major visibility. And for the next winter, the high waist will drastically replace the low rise of summer 24. The full volume skirt spot during the last fashion show is showing a stable behavior as a draped one, as you can see in the picture. And as I said, coats are taking the stage with several interpretations, from preppy classic styles to fuzzy and nomadic ones. Talking about colors, our clients see how fall-winter forecasting is confirmed by the fashion show in that case, because we can see that classic colors are rising, with black, gray, white, and blue taking the first position of the color range, and then red and brown are star color of the season, as the new pastels rising by 109%, while bold color are decreasing by 39%. So we can really see a shift. It's quite a clash of complementary tints for this winter palette, where color are used to enhance each other. Red practically doubles its exposure during the fashion shows, as warm burgundy and this berry bliss tint showing a significant growth from last year, where we call them an emerging trend. On the other hand, greens are also growing, with a remarkable shift towards khaki and mint greens. And as an emerging tint, we can mention, I call it virtual green, an ubiquitous color touch here and there that has not gone undetected in some of the big brands, as we have seen in the Trendstorming invitation. And last but not least, as you can see in the color chart, fuchsia is not a color in the palette. So for winter 24, as we have predicted in our forecasting, fuchsia is out. So yes, as I said before, the interesting thing about this show has been how color has been used. So this slide is really to show you an interesting, think about color and harmony, because the muted tones of the pastels brought out a few touches of color here and there among the blacks and grays, and seems to manage to really stand out boldly, because of course, these classic colors, these colors are really catching the eyes. In fact, here we can confirm that color blocking for silhouette will be very powerful when you will be creating your looks. So keep in mind for your shooting, campaign, windows, of course, to attract the consumer eyes after a few seasons of minimalism and encourage him or her to buy, this color contrast will be able to renew the interest of consumer, with not only financial constraints, but may also be a bit bored about here or his wardrobe. So a few big brands show that they understood well this concept during this fashion show, and focusing really on these impactful monochrome looks, increasing by 69%, and also this witty but as well as sophisticated color contrast, as you can see, increasing by 58%. Then let's finish with the textile assortment, because reconnecting to the color pitch I was making earlier, it's noteworthy that embellished fabrics are very strong in the fashion show fabric range. Of course, the shows are here to impress, and then, of course, the fabrics here sometimes do not reflect what after the main collection will be, with so many exceptional fabrics. But if we just focus even on prints, we can say that they are starting to grow again, with a plus 27% compared to last winter. And globally, everything that has pattern is also growing by 32%. So this is really interesting insights. So knit and leather globally are the protagonists of the season. a season where tactility and visual appearance of textile will be very important and in awakening the senses. And from bold or dreamy transparencies to soft or rustic furry effect, as we will see through the trend story that Giulia is going to present.
Thank you so much for this very insightful roundup. Just maybe before we jump right into the design trends that we have depicted or decoded from the fashion weeks, just to give you a little understanding of how we are going to work them today. So first we're going to look a bit at the design story, the key looks, then at the relating prints and textile and must-haves, and everything when it comes to accessories that has been decoded by our algorithms. And therefore, to create these stories, we're really cross-referencing all the elements from different categories. And then, as we are the pioneers of this AI-driven trend forecasting, we're also now implementing our generative AI solution again to see how these design concepts can transform even into new looks. So there we're going to use everything that we discussed, so like the looks, the ingredients, in order to create something new and ignite our fantasy to inspire new collections. But let's jump into the first trend that we also call the First Lady. So the First Lady trend is really marking this departure from the bold, sexy aesthetic of the past seasons. And instead, it is really embracing the return to elegance and sophistication. With 1,092 looks showcasing this more chic and feminine design approach, and 47 looks still persisting in the preppy style, this trend is really reinforcing the current drive for old money aesthetics. This is a trend that is drawing inspiration from a wardrobe, let's say, of the bourgeois chic, and is filling the runway, or has filled the runway, with these iconic vintage pieces. Here we could see luxurious car coats, playful mod-like mini dresses, tailored suit sets, elegant drapey dresses, and pieces that were overall just filled with sophistication, whether that came from these cowl-like necklines or bow tie necks on blouses, just really amping up this feeling of elegance and a little bit glamorous spirit. So overall, the First Lady look is really translating this new sense of timeless glamour and is inviting us to escape into a bit of the opulence and grace of a bygone era. Definitely introducing something quite new into this fashion sphere. Now let's look at the First Lady must-haves that are depicting this revival of timeless elegance and are returning to sophistication. So here we have the suit as a prominent trend that was featured in 770 looks and is showing a rather stable growth when compared to the previous season. So for this theme, we also see these wool and pencil skirt combination when it comes to suits that are reflecting the preppy fusion of heritage tailoring, but also adding a bit of a contemporary flair. And next to the suit, we also still have the cardigan as a steadfast staple that was shown in more than 250 looks. And for this trend, designers really managed to seamlessly combine comfort with enhanced style and present all of these little prim and preppy options that are offering us, refined basics that manage to capture the essence of timeless elegance and are inviting us to integrate this new confidence into the prim and proper look. But now let's look a bit at the other ingredients to create the First Lady aesthetic.
Yeah, let me talk about the fabrics, because with this First Lady trend, we could be no shortage of, leopard, as presented by Christian Dior and Michael Kors, rising by 39%. This leopard touch somehow reminds me of Jackie Kennedy, something like this, when we talk about the First Lady, and can really make some coats, for example, a statement piece, and make a dress or a blouse more daring. And in the same vein, classic wool fabrics from Chevron or Salt and Pepper or tweeds are important to this theme, playing on texture and a certain blurred effect given by the corded wools. And then let's have a look at the accessories with Simona.
Thank you, Barbara. So, introducing accessory for the First Lady trend, the accessories pair a nod to nostalgic elegance with modern flair. So we can see the Mary Jane pump that explores pointy toes and vintage-inspired heels, which are adding a touch of sophistication to the season. And with heels growing by plus 2%, the slingback heel is manifesting further from last season and comes as a favored footwear choice. And the sleek back is also paired with stylish opaque tights or knee socks for a contemporary and fall-ready look. And especially in vinyl options, these shoes are adding a sleek and fashion-forward edge. And finally, looking at bags, the top handle, which was featured in 245 looks, is pushing for clean-lined silhouettes on elongated boxy forms. So those elegant and modern handbags evoke a sense of chic refinement and fit for any occasion.
Thank you so much, Simona. So now let us look at how our AI generations are turning these ingredients into a new collection and are funneling our creativity. So our AI generated looks really pair this young lady sassiness with the timeless sophistication of the first lady, let's say, into a captivating ladylike fusion. Here, the allure of these leopard prints is seamlessly integrating with these high-quality wools for creating a fresh, luxurious feel. Each look is really based on these feminine details and elegant silhouettes to resonate grace and confidence. And for our AI-generated looks, the richness of the berry tones that Barbara mentioned in the beginning, the impulsive red, is perfectly balanced with all of these understating, grays and beiges and neutrals, in order to blend well also with these bolder animal prints of the season. So overall, you can see all of these AI decoded, but also AI generated silhouettes, leading to a very interesting contemporary nod to this bourgeois kind of concept and adding a bit of a more modern finish that is perfectly blending boldness and refinement. But now we're already jumping into our second design concept that we have been deciphering from the runways that we call Manor Born. And Manor Born is a trend that is really at the forefront of the shows. It is a trend that is offering us another fresh take on this timeless allure of the old money aesthetic, but pushing it a bit more Highlandsy or even military and utility in a sense. We see 385 looks where the trend merges elements of masculinity into feminine wardrobes and resulting in interesting blends of design that are filled with strength, but also with elegance. And the season, we see that utility takes a bit of a backseat, but remains subtly visible in 254 looks. However, talking utility, we see a shift towards a practical and refined look that is drawing inspiration from the military universe and is therefore a bit more stylized and sleek. Manor Born really indulges in this rich palette of olive shades and khaki hues that Barbara mentioned in the beginning when it came to colors, and is taking us to this highland and forest-like scenery. Not to forget, we see all of these traditional checks and plates that are taking us, to add some grand parcours influences that we see penetrating the market into this theme and really going for a bit of a retro touch. The trend silhouettes are also influenced by hunting attire and embrace a sense of this aristocratic heritage with its timeless charm. And therefore, we can see a lot of these double-breasted coats, knitwear that has become super relevant this season, cabin jackets, leggings, and riding boots. And you'll see this now on our second slide for this theme, where we decipher a bit of the, key pieces. So for fall winter 24, and especially at the heart of this Manor Born trend, we see a look that is really defined by an outdoorsy yet quite luxury allure. So as an early sign trend, we see the resurgence of these military-infused pieces like the peacoat that has seen a remarkable growth of over 75% from past seasons. And the trend sophisticated aesthetic really translates, these peacoat jackets that have been featured prominently across leading brands like Gucci, Ferragamo, or Chanel, and really embeds, this aristocratic undertone. And another standout piece that Barbara mentioned in the beginning is the safe but still early, let's say, fashionable trend of the leggings that is here in this case really linked to the world, let's say, of horse riding, and when paired to tailored blazers, really creates an epitome to this distinct Highland look, as seen, for example, in this Versace silhouette. And in this particular combination of the legging with the blazer, we're really capturing this essence of the Manor Born story that seamlessly blends heritage with contemporary style in order to really renew a refined, luxurious look and to make it or keep it timeless.
Yeah, let's have a look at the key elements together. So as already mentioned, leather had a strong exposure during the show with more than 1,300 looks, from dresses to pants and coats, and not forgetting also the python or crocodile version that also show an increase in visibility. We define this trend as a big trend for winter 24. And talking about Manor, the perfect pattern is check, of course. From plaid to tartan, those woven textures are rising by 38% compared to last year and manifesting plaid-safe direction with a long-lasting fabric that does not suffer from trends. And now let's have a look at the accessories.
Thank you, Barbara. So the accessories for the Manor-born trend are exploring the archive of the aristocracy. And in line with this story, the loafer is growing by plus 15% for footwear across the fashion week. So from classic flats to modern heeled version, this piece is offering an on-trend, masculine meets feminine must-have piece. And the knee boot has been a favorite for consumers recently, and the riding boot is now taking over from racing and biker styles. So these updated yet classic heritage boots have been featured in 187 look and bring a sense of refined elegance to the range. While for bags, in the Manor-born Trend Explorer elegance to the range. So messenger styles that look at multi-pocket details or chic buckles on quality leathers. And now back
Thank
to
you,
Julia.
Simona. Now, when we are combining all of these interesting ingredients for the story and then have them prompted by our experts and then generated by artificial intelligence into new silhouettes, we have come up with this range. So our AI interpretations are really taking all of these ideas further and blending the charm of the country estate with city chic. So our generated looks are embracing this olive-colored, slightly muddy palette of the season and are setting on cozy and natural textures. Masculine pieces take center stage, offering a refined yet powerful silhouette. And on that note, new iconic trenches, tailored coats, cabin jackets, etc. are exuding a practical but elegant vibe. The cozy knits are paired with shorts for a bit of a more modern and more daring styling. And our AI-generated looks are, of course, all complemented with an array of heritage knee boots that are adding this crucial touch of classic refinement in order to create the perfect fusion of rural charm and urban sophistication. And now we're already tapping into our third design trend of the fall winter fashion weeks. We have gentle moments. That is a trend that presents a delicate and feminine narrative and is evoking really a sense of intimacy and whimsy. It embraces the beauty of feminine softness and leans towards curated imperfections. With a continued taste for intimate dressing, this trend explores sheers and more dreamy details in order to create a sentimental moment on the runways. Lingerie elements were featured in 375 looks, while sheers dominated more than 872 looks. Those ingredients really led to an ethereal atmosphere across the shows. The trends palette is based on new nudes and blush pinks that have become quite important, as we also saw with this increase of pastel colors. And they really harmonize across a lot of monochrome silhouettes and emphasize the tenderness of the trend. At the same time, we see subtly romantic embellishments like bow details still continuing, and all these embellishments that we've seen in the beginning in order to enhance this magical boudoir moment. The overall styling really dares to be a bit messy and feels almost undone, which is inviting us to really indulge in a gentle moment of waking up that resonates with a bit more authenticity and vulnerability as compared to previous seasons. When we look at the key pieces of this gentle moment story, did we move to this next slide for me? Yes, thank you. When we look at these key pieces, we really decode that the delicate drape dress is a rather stable choice for this season as well. It was featured in 238 looks and had a growth rate of 1%. These dreamy dresses really explore all of the layering that we can generate with sheer fabrics that are leading the season. And when we incorporate the new trends of plunging necklines, or some sort of delicate trims, we can aim for an even more ethereal effect, as we've seen across the runway. And additionally, we see this second key item, the shorts, that Barbara has mentioned, really making its notable appearance within the winter range, especially as we have seen opaque tights with a special focus regain their importance throughout collections. So now that we see leggings and opaque tights rising, it makes sense that we see a lot of shorts that can be now playing with layering in order to make them winter appropriate. So here for these shorts, we see a remarkable growth rate of over 71% in order to really make it more of a, safe trend for the season. They are interpreted within this gentle moment story in a more lingerie or even vintage bloomer type silhouette that offers us a bit more of a romantic and intimate touch. So these two key pieces really encapsulate the dreamy allure of the trend, and they are inviting us to embrace femininity with more grace and elegance, and really set this opposition to the seasons before, where everything was like dominatrix and strappy and very hypersexual. And now,
we can see the same concept also in the key elements and in the fabrics. For such a delicate trend, of course, florals are the best option, from tender printed bouquet at Blue Marine to nostalgic jacquard spotted at Vivetta, from embroideries to lace, as seen, for example, at Hermano Cervino, until to modern dévoré at Diesel, for example. Floral are rising by 38% with a visibility of 1,035 looks. Embellishments have a strong visibility on the fashion show and are adorning delicate and transparent materials, bringing richness to these evanescent fabrics. Let's say something makes us think about our festive collection, maybe, that will be playing on sheer fabrics and shimmering embroidery, maybe. So, Simona,
Thank you, Barbara. So for the gentle moments story, the accessory enhances the fragile and soft notion of the concept. So as a new take for the flat Mary Jane, which has been featured in 74 looks, brands like Chloé and Giambattista Valli are proposing more experimental buckled silhouettes. While for boots, the soft sock style is elaborated further this season. So after the item has been proposed again by Bottega Veneta during the past season. And from super soft leathers to woolen styles, this look is adding a new look to the range. And finally, for bags, Gentle Moment Story is enhancing recent soft scrunch circle bags with metallic and sculptural handles. So these dual handles might even hook the bag to the arm like a bracelet, as seen at Chloé, as you can see in the picture. And now back to Julia.
Thank you so much. So when we fuse all of these ingredients together, our AI-generated styles really manifest this blend of delicate beauty and understated elegance. Here, a barely there effect is achieved through the layering of sheers and fluid textiles. Superpositions and cascading hemlines are really manifesting and creating a bit of this undone effect that we have been talking about in the beginning, that is adding a touch of whimsy and delicacy, fragility to the look. At the same time, ditzy and monochrome florals further enhance the feminine notion of these AI-generated silhouettes and are infusing each piece with a romantic twist. Subtle textures and, these slight imperfections are feeling really perfectly imperfect and add a sense of depth to our AI-generated looks and to the season. They also invite a bit of tactile exploration. Dreamy embellishments also adorn selected pieces with a sprinkle and touch of magic and fantasy, especially when we think about these holiday collections that Barbara mentioned. Then also our AI-generated styles are really embracing a world of enchantment and grace, as we've spoken about, and every detail really tells us the story of ethereal and delicate beauty. But now we're moving into a totally different universe with the fourth trend that we spotted and decoded across the fashion weeks that we call craft cave. This is a trend that showed up and unveiled this profound longing for a spiritual renaissance. It is really delving into the depth of our primal instinct and aims to connect us to earth and craft. On that note, rustic styles took center stage in 213 looks across the runways. We saw also that oversized and cocooning silhouettes really dominated a staggering 2,397 looks and really added a sense of enveloping coziness to the scene. With this hunter-gatherer vibe and the nomadic story that we spotted across the shows, we see these earthy colors, gritty and ethnic prints, and a textile repertoire of furs and woolly materials really coming together here. Each garment, in a sense, is becoming a vessel for spiritual awakening. We see looks that are adorned with talisman necklaces, leather belts, and jewels that really give us a sense of this ancient ritual or traditional, repertoire. The Craft Cave story is inviting us to embark on a journey of self-discovery and to connect with the natural world and the depth of our heritage, as we've seen across multiple designers like Isabel Marant, Ulla Johnson, Gabriela Hearst, and especially Etro that really delves into heritage. When we look at the must-have pieces for the Craft Cave story, we see that there are two pieces that really encapsulate the essence of both nomadic exploration and spiritual renewal. So as a first must-have, we have decoded the cape. That is a very safe trend choice for the season. These capes are showcasing a remarkable 55% growth compared to the fall-winter 23 season. They propose draped asymmetric features and even extend into these hybrid coats to recreate this enveloping capey effect. As a second must-have, we've got the maxi dress that is taking center stage this season as a big trend. It is a piece that is appearing in 1,498 looks, and it's exploring the fluidity of sheer fabrics and materials, and also the slinkiness of all of these knitted fabrics. Especially, these knitted maxi dresses are a must-have piece to retain from the runways. And as these must-have styles, especially within this nomad story, this maxi dress is really depicting a lot of interesting prints, etc., and adding a sense of comfort and freedom that is really enriching the story with this alchemistic bohemian elegance.
Yes, thank you, Julia. Very insightful. And taking inspiration from this Craft Cave trend, patterns and finishing are playing with artistic gritty effect. So from boiled wools to satin, denim, and leather, those artisanal effects make the clothes look one of a kind. The inspiration mixes antique Japanese technique, denim treatment, and digital prints to enhance the visual abstract effect. And another very important fabric effect is definitely the fuzzy styles. From fur, knit, or woven technique, the furry trend is here to stay, definitely, showing a stable behavior from the last winter and will continue to experiment on recycled fiber and materials. Now, let's have a look at accessories with Simona.
Thank you, Barbara. So for Crafty Cave, the XL Nomad boot is maintaining the hyper-voluminous look that has been emerging for footwear. For this look, this season proposes leg warmers as add-ons, but also opts for these extra wide leg boots, which can create the desired slouchy silhouettes and new voluminous form. So for the Crafty Cave Nomad story, anything fuzzy is giving off a Yeti appeal. And from flats to heels and boots, furry material on shoes has been shown in 110 looks. And this tactile notion also extends into bags and proposes foxy styles as a stable trend that continues from the past season.
Thank you so much, Simona. And when we mix this all together, our AI-generated silhouettes really give us a fusion of this alchemist bohemian design and the more modern nomadic aesthetic. Our AI looks embrace the abstract and arty interpretations of ethnic and gritty prints that we've seen before and make each style a canvas for self-expression and cultural exploration. Fuzzy details, embroideries, and embellishment really add depth and texture to each look and infuse the pieces with artisanal craftsmanship. At the same time, layering and draped effects recreate this enveloping feel and are inviting comfort and freedom into the look. With our AI-generated silhouettes, we really embark on this journey of sartorial discovery and celebrate rusticity, creativity, and the beauty of cultural diversity that is so deeply ingrained into this trend. And now we're really going very clean with our last story of today, which is the corporate minimal design trends that we have spotted across the fall-winter shows. So the corporate minimal trend really extends this appetite for essential styles by also embracing the quiet luxury trend of the previous seasons. With this story, we redefine business dressing with a subtle sense of avant-garde deconstruction this season. Minimal design was featured in 414 looks and tailored reigned supreme in more than 1,817 styles. For this trend, sleek, almost clinical designs are elevating classic corporate dressing. So we see sharp collars and shoulders, adding a touch of architectural precision here, but also playing with interesting layering to elevate classical pieces. At the same time, more daring deconstructions explore asymmetric knits, not around pieces, etc., for intriguing interplay of form and function, as seen at Ferragamo, Bottega Veneta, and other brands that are really pushing for this new take on minimalism. The fusion of tailoring, fine knits, and nylon fabrics also introduces an exciting new sense of modernity. And we see here that this monochrome silhouette and rather monochrome palette is explored to its fullest. But here and there, we could also see a lot of brands introduce a bit of this color blocking effect in order to add a sense of vibrancy and depth to these basic ensembles and to break purposefully with the monochrome but impactful silhouettes. When we look at the key pieces of the corporate minimal story, we really see how we can reframe traditional office wear with a modern twist in order to emphasize the versatility. So as one of the key pieces, we've got the sweater that emerges as a safe trend for the season and is experiencing a remarkable growth of 258%. The piece, so the sweater, is really an interesting piece because it has been introduced by high-end brands like Gucci, Miu Miu, and Valentino over the past seasons, and some of them are really continuing to explore the potential of this really basic product in order to also add a sporty twist to corporate silhouettes. So as you can see in the silhouette we've chosen here, but also by other brands like Coach, they've been pairing this hooded sweater style with interesting tailoring silhouettes for an interesting contemporary update. And we also saw brands like Dries van Noten showcase deconstructed interpretations of the sweatshirt by using slits or drapes to seamlessly blend the functionality with this sophisticated undone design. And then we've got another must-have for this corporate minimalist trend that is the long coat, and that is particularly present in these oversized and rather masculine variations. And these coats really dominated more than 923 looks and explored a variety of textiles. So as we saw leather being an important material of the season, it's been explored here as well and elevating some of these minimal pieces with a more stylish touch. So corporate minimalism really offers us these two key pieces that can give us a fresh take on professional attire and that are combining elegance with a contemporary flair to elevate the modern workplace or the after-work event.
Yes, so let's have a look at materials. And for this office-ready tailoring-inspired trend, classic drapery with a certain masculine style cannot be missed, of course. As you can see, pinstripes continue to grow in visibility and are defined as a safe trend. Knit is an increasing material showing classic and casual interpretation next to statement shapes and impressive jacquards. It's a topic that deserves a whole dedicated report that you will find soon on our platform. But let's say that knitwear will have creating knitwear for next season, we have to be very wisely, they have to be wisely designed to allow it to correspond to also the warmer winter we have now, playing with layering during the seasonal drops coming, but without losing, the strong pieces that distinguish, this very creative technique of knitwear, and that often carries the brand's strong identity. And
Thank you.
Accessory.
Thanks, Barbara. So for corporate minimalism, the men's model is exploring a footwear trend that has been introduced by Miu Miu during the last season. So the formal derby and Oxford shoe for women's wear. In lower heel variations, as in Louis Vuitton, or as in flat options, these shoes explore the trend for corporate fashion. And similarly, office-ready, the high and pointy heel is giving us a glimpse at nostalgic 80s moments in a sleek power dressing spirit. So overall, pointy shoes have been featured in over 690 looks this season. And for bags, the soft leather shopper is returning as a 2010s favorite, with Gen Z exploring thrifted Y2K styles over the past years. This returning it piece is bringing back a stylish cosmopolitan all-rounder.
Thank you so much, Simona, for these insights on accessories. And now looking at our last AI-generated looks of today, we really see a set of looks that encapsulate the sleek refinement of this corporate minimalist aesthetic. Embracing clean cuts and masculine forms, our AI-generated silhouettes really resonate sophistication and confidence. Pinstripes that were previously mentioned by Barbara are leading the season at a sharp touch, while jersey joggers and sweaters are introducing this contemporary twist to business attire that we've seen within our must-haves. At the same time, we have these turtlenecks and short coats that enhance the polished aesthetic and are complemented by long-line silhouettes in dresses and skirts that we have also talked about in the beginning as core features for the season and are creating a bit of a more streamlined look. Overall, the monochrome palette is dominating on these styles with gray, black, and white in order to capture really this seasonal timelessness. However, we can see pops of colors, in this case, purple, that is injecting vibrancy and personality into the looks. And as a kind of roundup, these styles really embrace the intersection, let's say, of minimalism and urban modernity and are reflecting this need for renewed but lasting essentials in our wardrobes. So we're not getting tired of this quiet luxury trend, but we're kind of pushing it further and modernizing it in that sense. And what is more, so maybe Barbara wants to take a bit of a lead of how you can explore everything and even more on our website and with us at Livetrend.
Yes, because we have finished for today with our trend recap, and we hope that you will rely on our objective insights and reliable data-driven analysis to invest in the right trends and build successful collection for the next winter. We know in this difficult economic context and adapting to unpredictable consumer demand, inflation, lower purchasing power is very challenging for you, and we know that, and we can see how our expertise has become crucial for getting real help to really find the right trend to capitalize in. So why stop here when you can get your collection to the next level? So for our clients, from tomorrow you will find the fashion show analysis, then coming drill after down by category. And if you are not a Livetrend client yet and you would like to get all the trend insights, you can contact me. You have my email here on the slide, even for a demo of the platform or a specific presentation. We can study all the relevant trends for your brand, crossing the fashion show trends with data coming from your market, for example. So it can be very powerful. And if you want to push innovation even further, we are available to generate your future bestseller with AI, as you have seen in this presentation, turning our million of data into concrete images of product that you can use internally for workshops, focus group, or on your social media, for example, to test the appeal of a product even before producing it. As you have seen in the platform, it's really amazing how we can get this very realistic effect. So it can be very new and very useful today to use those AI generation. So thank you very much to all the attendees today. We are very happy of your interest from all around the world, and we are also very proud of the results we are having with our clients. So again, thank you very much. I can see a lot of familiar faces, and we will be very happy to learn more about the ones we don't know and understand your needs and how we can help. If you have any question, it's your time now. So you feel free to put your, switch on your microphone and talk. We would be very pleased to have even some advice, or just if you want to say hello, we are here for you.
And I already saw some people inquiring about the presentation, about the replay. So you don't be worried. You'll get an email after the event today, and you'll have the PDF to download and also the replay to watch. Everything compiled in this email. So no worries, you'll get everything.
Yeah, I see some people, maybe Borod, I don't know if you left your end just to say hello or you want to ask something. So feel free to switch on your microphone
or send us a message in the chat, even via email if you have anything that goes beyond what we mentioned today or that isn't clear. And otherwise, I think, just to recap, I think it's really interesting to see in today's webinar, especially how we are using artificial intelligence to generate images. So you've seen that we've used the ingredients that were leading across the fashion shows, like which was the most important pattern, which was the most important color, which was the important textile, and then prompting all of these with a bit of an influence of the styling and aesthetic into these new silhouettes. So I think it's interesting to show not only the potential of generative AI in order to create beautiful images, but also to bring together our imagination. So sometimes maybe it's not necessarily clear how everything would work together, but when we prompt it into these AI generated images, it can already give us a bit of a direction and, really bring us new ideas to work with that are also then based on really tangible and reliable sets of data. So I think this is really interesting to see.
Gail just commented what you are saying it's amazing to see how AI can be used to pull all the data together. And I can assure you that sometimes even us, we are always amazed by the results. So of course, you don't have to be afraid by AI, because it's just a tool without an expert prompting and using the right ingredients at the end. You don't get exactly what we have shown to you today, but I think it's really important for you to test this new technology, because it's the present, it's not the future. So these technology are already available for you in the market.
No, we use the final AI interpretation. So we have been with our technology, we're able to use all of our right ingredients that we've tracked with artificial intelligence. And then we've got experts in-house that are prompting them into these final images, where we can then basically decide beforehand, okay, we want to have this and this and that, and then let AI also integrate a bit of its synthetic creativity mixed with our information and also our fashion expertise and creativity into these final images. But they haven't been retouched with further Photoshop or anything else, but really generated to the point by the machine.
Yeah, because of course, I think maybe you already know, but it's not Photoshop. So you can generate a code, for example, and then say, okay, just change the button. Today, it's not possible yet, can I say? So you really need to be very good at prompting. So writing the code and all the words to really create the right image. So that's really the challenge, and that's why we need talented experts to do the prompt. If you need some more information, feel free to contact us by email, and we are waiting for you for the next webinar. So bye, and thank you very much, and thank you, girls, for the presentation.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Have an amazing week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.